Hello dear students, I am Dr. Shikha Pandey, Associate Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the discussion on question bank. This video is about for the discussion on question bank. First of all, we'll discuss about the course outcome, what we have achieved from this module. So in this discussion on question bank on environment and ecosystem, the topic name is environment and ecosystem. And then the topic learning outcome is it will relate the basic environment structure and function of the ecosystem for the importance of ecosystem and public awareness. This is the topic learning outcome. And then what will be the course outcome? The course outcome of this environmental studies is like it will recall the interrelationship between living organism and environment. Means that will be the course outcome that will achieved at the end of this subject. And then any human being, you will understand the interrelationship between the living organism and environment. That's why this topic is there. And next is the after completion of this subject, a student will be able to understand or remember the interrelationship between the living organism and environment. This will be the course outcome that we achieved at the end of the course. Now comes to starts the question bank with the first part is the short answer question. Second part A and part B is the long answer question, and the part C is the critical thinking question. So first of all, we'll discuss about the part A, that is short answer question. Means this question will come in 2 marks in the examination, and in the examination you will get 5 questions in the from short answer question from part A. So first of all, define ecosystem. How does the ecosystem work? Ecosystem, we already know that ecosystem is a interaction of organism with their environment, is called as ecosystem. The relationship between an individual, between a living organism with their environment, means the day-to-day activity they are performing there is called as their ecosystem. For a aquatic life, they are surviving in the water, so that their ecosystem is a pond ecosystem. On a terrestrial ecosystem, like a grassland ecosystem is there, some organisms are living there, grassland organism. They are interacting there, they are doing their daily activities. So that ecosystem is their grassland ecosystem. And this ecosystem will work the interaction of organisms with their daily activities, from the relationship between the interaction among the living factors and non-living factor. Living factors and non-living factors is called as interaction of organism with the living and non-living factors that is present on their particular ecosystem, how it will work. And next is the biotic factor and abiotic factor of an ecosystem. Biotic factor means the living factor, and abiotic factor means the non-living factors. So the ecosystem altogether is a combination of the biotic and abiotic components. So biotic means the living components, like the animals that are, if we'll take the example of a grassland ecosystem, then we'll say that bird is there, frog is there, so they are the living component of that ecosystem. And abiotic factor, sunlight, heat, soil, water, all these are the abiotic factors. So the interaction of organism with the abiotic factor is called as ecosystem. So next is you will explain briefly the importance of ecological pyramid. Ecological pyramid is there. Ecological pyramid importance is like it will provides us the food for the lower trophic organism to the higher trophic organism, and then up to the higher trophic organism. That's why the pyramid term is there. So this will divide all organism into different trophic level. First one is for producer, second is for consumer, and third is for decomposer. So this will be a representation of any ecosystem in a graphical manner. This is called as ecological pyramid. Water, producer, consumer, and decomposer and ecosystem. Producer are those that are producing the energy. Means green plant is there, they are producer. Consumer are those, they are consuming the producer, is called as consumers. Like green plants, Deer is consuming green plants, so deer is the consumer. And decomposer is there. Decomposer, what decomposer will do, they will decompose the organic matter that is present in the consumer, in an organism, and they will bring back that nutrients into the atmosphere again. That is the role of a decomposer. Means decomposer will help in the recycling of nutrients. So decomposer will play a very important part in any ecosystem, recycling of nutrients. So this is the role of a decomposer in an ecosystem. Discuss the pyramid of biomass. Pyramid of biomass, you can see we have added a picture also, that is a pyramid of biomass. Pyramid of biomass, if we'll discuss a pyramid of biomass in a general term, like in for a biomass, means pyramid that will be divided as per the biomass, as per the weight of an individual, means how much mass they are producing on the earth. So if we'll take the example of a terrestrial ecosystem, you can see that at a producer level, grass is there. So obviously the grass is having more biomass. That's why grass are the producer and they are having more biomass. Next is the herbivores is there. Herbivores, you can see that they are the consumers. Herbivores is having less biomass as compared to the producers. And next is the primary carnivores, then top carnivores. This is the pyramid of biomass. On the basis of biomass, on the basis of weight, an individual will pose on their ecosystem, they are making a pyramid. So this is the pyramid of biomass, and it is and very important thing is there, that is pyramid of biomass in an aquatic ecosystem is always inverted in nature, because producer are the animals that are having very less weight, because produce some algae is there, little fish is there, they are the producer. Is the producer in the aquatic ecosystem, so they are getting very less biomass. And then herbivores are there, they are consuming that they are some little fish. And carnivores is there, that is whale is having more biomass as compared to this producer. That's why their shape is inverted in nature. Next is the term biomagnification. What is mean by biomagnification? Biomagnification is the term that will be related with the magnification, that will be transformation of any chemical that is present in the tropic level to from lower tropic level to higher tropic level, and they will be magnified, like they will be increase the concentration from lower tropic level to higher tropic level. That's why this word is there, biomagnification. Magnification or increase in the uptake of any chemical from lower tropic level to higher tropic level, that will be mean by this biomagnification. Explain the energy flow in ecosystem. Energy flow is again the flow of energy, flow of nutrients from lower tropic level to higher tropic level is called as energy flow in an ecosystem. Energy flow, we know that food chain is there, and two law of thermodynamics is there, first law and second law, and on this basis this energy will flow in ecosystem. Next is discuss the pyramid of energy. So this pyramid is there, pyramid shape is there for every tropic, every ecosystem. So, and this pyramid we'll divide it on the basis of pyramid of biomass, pyramid of number, and pyramid of energy. So pyramid of energy is always upright in nature, means it will be always that pyramid upright in nature, because what will happen in any ecosystem, if we'll go from lower tropic level to higher tropic level, there are some loss of energy from one tropic level to another tropic level. That will be some 10%, that will be called as 10% loss of energy. So from producer to decomposer, consumer and decomposer, some loss of energy is there. That is about the pyramid of energy. And one more thing that is very much important regarding this pyramid of energy, it is always upright in nature. So always remember this point, this pyramid of energy is always upright in nature. What is the nature of an ecosystem? Give its structure and function. So the nature of ecosystem is related with the interaction of living organism with their non-living factor is called as ecosystem. So ecosystem structure and function is all related with this activity of a human beings, like of a organism with their abiotic factor, like this tropic structure is there, like the energy flow is there. All these are the basic function of an ecosystem. Next is the food chain and food web. Differentiate between the term food chain and food web. Food chain is a general term that will be that is started with green plant and end with the decomposer is called as food chain. The process of transfer of energy from one lower organism to the higher organism, that is to a series of organism, is called as food chain. So you can see this in example, like from green plant, grass frog is there, grasshopper is there, grasshopper is eaten by frog, frog is eaten by snake, snake is eaten by the vulture. This is food chain. And the combination of many food chain in a single ecosystem is called as food wave. That is the difference between the combination of many food chain in a ecosystem that will considered as a food wave. So lots of food chain is connected is called as food wave. So if we see that in an ecosystem, up to a snake is eaten by some animal, some deer, so this will be a food wave, means like from there that will be a straight chain, that is food chain. But if we'll interconnected with different food chain, then that is called as a food wave. Now comes to the next question, that is discuss pyramid of number. Same thing is there as I have already discussed. Like pyramid of number is the pyramid of a structure we are maintaining on the number of species that is available in an ecosystem. And again is the structure of ecosystem. Structure of ecosystem is nothing but the interaction of living organism with their non-living factor is called as ecosystem. So this is about the pictures that is related with the pyramid. So in a pyramid, will always take the producer in the base of this pyramid, and then primary consumer, then secondary consumer, then tertiary consumer. Tertiary composer is the decomposer, and all they are decomposed by decomposers, because some nutrients is there, and that decomposer will do the recycling of nutrients, that they will bring down the nutrients that is already present in at each trophic level. So if you think that any animal will die, so after their death, that decomposer will decompose the organic materials from that organism, and that will be bring back into the environment again. Now comes to the part A, that is again the short answer question. So first relate the term ecosystem and biosphere. Ecosystem is the interaction of living and organism, living plus non-living in a normal ecosystem, like in a pond ecosystem, or in a terrestrial ecosystem is a ecosystem. So this is called as ecosystem. And biosphere is the altogether of all the segment of environment, like the interaction between the atmosphere, the interaction between the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and all organisms is all together. The interaction is called as biosphere. Ecosystem is a short term, and then biosphere is a longer term. Means that will be covering all the activities, all the living organisms on this earth, like the interaction between lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, that is comes under the category of biosphere. Next is what are the process that autotrophic organism use to produce organic matter from inorganic substance. That is the process is called as photosynthesis. This process is called as photosynthesis. What they will do, photosynthesis means what this phototrophic organism will do, they will use sunlight that will to produce organic material from inorganic substance. Classify ecosystem based on their habitat, creation and exchange of matter and energy. So ecosystem, many type of ecosystem is there. Pond ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem, desert ecosystem. List the different trophic levels of an ecosystem. So again, different trophic level is a producer, consumer, and then decomposer. What kind of organism do we find in the aquatic life zone? Aquatic organisms are there, mainly fish, algae, zooplanktons, phytoplankton. They are the main organism that are will get in aquatic life zone. Next is the biogeochemical cycle. Means biogeochemical cycle. means those chemical cycle that will be associated with the recycling of material inside an ecosystem is called as biogeochemical cycle. They are very much important for an individual life, because some nitrogen cycle is there, all the important chemicals that is very important for a human activities, like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and phosphorus, all those important nutrients that is important for human being life, is recycling of nutrients is there. That's why this word is there, biogeochemical cycle. And terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem is nothing but a terrestrial ecosystem means a grassland ecosystem, and aquatic ecosystem means the pond ecosystem. So, and define the term autotrophic and heterotrophic organism. Autotrophic organism are those organisms, they are taking sunlight for the food, means they are making food by the process of photosynthesis. And then heterotrophic organism are those organisms, those they are consuming the autotrophic organism. Autotrophic organism are called as heterotrophic organism. Now comes to the next thing, that will be a part B questions, that is a long answer question. So this will be explain the energy flow pattern in different type of ecosystem. What happened to the energy flow as we move up in a tropic level? So the flow of energy in an ecosystem, we can define it like a energy flow pattern in the activity of a pyramid, as we have already discussed. And the energy flow pattern is of two type, as we have two type of energy flow model is there, Y shape and normal grazing food chain is there. So the flow of energy from lower tropic level to higher tropic level is the main kind of, is the general trend of this energy flow pattern. What are the main component of ecosystem, and briefly describe the function of each. The main component of ecosystem, again here two component is there, abiotic and biotic components is there. So if you have to explain the role of abiotic components and biotic components in an ecosystem. So the main component of ecosystem are two types, biotic and abiotic. And abiotic component, you will discuss about the sunlight, soil, water, whatever non-living present in an ecosystem. You have to explain about their function related with the main with the ecosystem. Next is the carbon and nitrogen cycle with the help of a diagram. Carbon cycle is a gaseous cycle, and nitrogen cycle is also a gaseous cycle. Carbon cycle is a conversion of carbon from different phase and then again bring back into the environment. It is a carbon cycle. And here again the nitrogen cycle is also the same. That is the starting from the fixation of from beginning to the up to then bring back it into the environment is called as nitrogen cycle. And nitrogen cycle will be fixed by many activity from the atmospheric. This nitrogen will get from plant, and then lightning activities also. So many sources of this nitrogen is there, and then fixing this nitrogen for organic use, and then again circulating it from different forms to another form, and then it's used by the organism, that is called as nitrogen cycle. What is the significance of food chain and food wave with relevant example? Food chain and food wave are very much important for any aquatic, for any ecosystem, because energy flow will take place in this food chain, and it will reflect the dependency and interrelationship between every individual, and every individual is important in an ecosystem. That has been explained in this food chain and food wave. And food wave is the combination of lots of food chain, is called as food wave. So they are having very much importance with any ecosystem, because without food chain and food wave, no energy flow can be possible. Next is the biogeochemical cycle. Biogeochemical cycle is again the cycle that will be present on the earth. That those biological chemical element is there. The element will get from the earth is called as biogeochemical cycle. So phosphorus cycle you have to explain. Name all the cycles that constitute the proper functioning of an ecosystem. So for the proper functioning of an ecosystem, nitrogen cycle is there, carbon cycle is there, sulfur cycle, phosphorus cycle, all cycle is there. That will be a recycling of nutrients and functioning of nutrients into a same by some elements and explain about the biomagnification properties of a food chain. So in a food chain, as I have already discussed, that biomagnification words mean the increase in the amount of pollutants from one trophic level to another trophic level. So from if something is present, DDT will be there in pond ecosystem, that will be uptake by the zooplankton and phytoplankton in a very little amount. But when it will be eaten by the fish, that amount will be increased up to 10 times. And at last, when that fish will be consumed by human body, that will be concentration is again getting magnified 10 times. So the amount, this will be in this way, the pollutant will be coming from food chain from lower to higher organism, and this will enter into the human body. Next is the ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramid is nothing but the representation of ecological tropics in a pyramid structure. And some of these pyramids are right, and while some of the pyramid are inverted in different ecosystem. So energy, pyramid of energy is always right in any ecosystem. If we'll take about any ecosystem, like in pond ecosystem, in grassland ecosystem, or in terrestrial ecosystem, or in desert ecosystem, if we'll see about this energy ecosystem, that will be energy pyramid, that will be always upright in nature, because there are some amount of 10% amount of energy lost from energy will be lost after moving from one trophic level to another trophic level. But in case of pond ecosystem, if we'll see about the pyramid of biomass, it is always inverted in nature, because biomass first producer of that pond ecosystem are the little fish, little phytoplankton and algae are there, zooplanktons are there. Their biomass is very less, and the biomass and the higher up to higher trophic level, blue whale is there, and blue whale biomass is very much high as compared to that phytoplankton and zooplankton. That's why the shape of pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass in pond ecosystem is always inverted in nature. Next is the differentiate between grazing food chain and detritus food chain. Grazing food chain is a normal food chain, means those food chain that will be starts with the producer and then primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. Like that, detritus food chains means those food chain that will starts with the detritus, some dead organism, like dead leaf is there, so it will be decomposed by the predator, and then it will be eaten by some organism, some crow is there. So this is detritus. First thing we should have to remember, like grazing food chain always starts with the producer, and detritus food chain starts with the detritus material, like some dead organic material. So this is the representation of flow of energy in an ecosystem. So in this ecosystem, you can see that energy will be flow from inorganic nutrients pool is there. From inorganic nutrient pool, producer will uptake, or producer will make food with the help of sunlight, and that will be, sometimes if the producer will die, then this will be decomposed, and then again that energy will go to the consumer, and in the form of heat, some energy loss is there at every trophic level. This is about the loss of pyramid of energy. So at every trophic level, you can see that some energy will be lost in the form of heat. Next is in the consumer. Consumer is there, and after consumer, decomposers is there. After consumer, decomposer is there. So in every trophic level, some amount of energy is lost. This energy loss is called as only 10% energy will be passed from one trophic level to higher trophic level. Up to 90% of energy is lost in the form of heat. Then from decomposer, the inorganic nutrient pool is there. From decomposer will bring the decompose and will bring that inorganic nutrients again into the atmosphere. So you can see that the flow of energy is showing with yellow and red color. And yellow indicates usable energy, and red indicates energy that will be the energy lost in the unstable form of heat. This red color, as I have already explained, that the energy lost in the form of heat, and the green arrow shows that the continual recycling of chemical nutrients, means that green arrow means at every trophic level some decomposition is there. That's why this green color arrow is there, and some amount of energy is lost in the form of heat. And you can say this, see this in the picture, like food wave is there, means lots of food chain are connected and interrelated with each other, so that food wave is there. This is food example for food wave. Now comes to the part B, that is a long answer question. What does the services will provide from an ecosystem? Services like we'll get food, medicine, drugs, food, medicine, drugs, medicinal, shelter, house, everything that we'll get from the ecosystem is called as the services that we'll get from ecosystem. Sometimes it will be consumptive use, and it will be productive use. Means sometimes consumptive use is like we'll use it for our for sake of our livelihood, and for productive use you'll get economic benefits from this ecosystem services also. List the different trophic level of an ecosystem. As we know, different trophic level of ecosystem is the producer, consumer, and decomposer. Mainly three are there. And write a short note on single chain energy flow model and Y-shaped energy flow model. Single chain energy flow model is nothing but the green flow food chain that start with a producer, and Y-shaped energy flow model is the food chain that start with the detritus material, any dead organism. And explain about the hydrological cycle with the help of a diagram. So hydrological cycle is again the cycle of water cycle. You can see this in the diagram, like groundwater is there, surface water is there. So in the form of evaporation, the water is taken up by the clouds, and in form of condensation, that water is again bring back to the earth in the form of rain, snow, or precipitation. And then again this will be mixed with the surface runoff, groundwater, and then again this water will come into the atmosphere. Then again this water in the form of evaporation go to the condensation process. So this is the continuous process that is related with the hydrological cycle. This you can see that this is the hydrological cycle or water cycle, means the conversion of water from one form to another form. With the help of sunlight, evaporation is there, and then from the sun, snow, precipitation is there, and then again the water is come back into the environment. So the major drawbacks of using pesticides and other chemicals in the water. So the major drawback of using pesticides is the biomagnification. Biomagnification. The increase of any chemicals inside a organism, from one lower organism to higher trophic of an organism, as we have already discussed. Like if a little amount of pesticides in there in the zooplankton or phytoplankton, that will be automatically increase up to many times from this producer to the higher trophic level. And then again, if it will be eaten by the fish, that will be biomagnified, and that will be increased. And then if that fish is eaten by a man, then it will be increased up to many times. So this is about the biomagnification of DDT. So the use of DDT should be banned because it will be biomagnified inside a food chain. It is a very major drawback of using pesticides in a pond ecosystem. This is a picture. You can see that this is about the phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle is there. You can see that transfer of aquatic system to the drainage water, microbial biomass with the activity of primary mineral like apatite, and the secondary mineral activity, because phosphorus are present in the form of minerals, and then with the activity of enzyme, immobilization, weathering, precipitation, they will bring back the phosphate into the organic phosphate or solution phosphate. Solution phosphate is taken up by the plant, and then organic phosphate will be coming by the excreta of an organism. So in plant will take this solution phosphate, and then plant will be grazed by the cattle, and they will bring back that phosphorus into the organic phosphorus in the form of excreta. So this picture is about the phosphorus cycle. Now comes to the next part of the question, that is part C, that is problem solving or critical thinking question. Means this question will not ask you directly the questions. It will be sometimes some critical thinking is there. So first of all is the explain energy flow pattern in different type of ecosystem. What happened to the energy flow as we move up to the tropic level? Here again the energy flow, like you have to discuss the pyramid of structures, pyramid of energy, and the food chain and food web in any ecosystem of different ecosystem, like in pond ecosystem, like in terrestrial ecosystem, desert ecosystem, all these ecosystem. This question will be carry 5 marks. And the explain the major drawbacks of using pesticide and other agrochemical in the soil or any other ecosystem. Again here the you have to discuss about the biomagnification. Why, and it is for why ecosystem is getting degraded and what are the steps have to be taken by public to stop the ecosystem. Here you have to explain about the degradation of bio ecosystem, like overconsumption, over exploitation of natural resources, like cutting of trees and overconsumption of anything, and like greenhouse gases and the cutting of trees for economic purposes and all these things. And next is the if every organism must eat another organism for survival, where does the food chain start? And then you have to discuss about the recall is there. This is about if every organism must eat another organism for survival, so food chain will starts with the producer, because producer will take are the green plants. They will take energy from sunlight. So in the form of photosynthesis, they are making the food. They'll make with the help of sunlight, green plant is making the food, so that every for an and after this producer, then this flow will start. Every organism has to eat another organism for survival and its growth. What is the role of individual to conserve the environment? Means our role to conserve the environment means everybody, it is the right of every individual to think about the environment. So you have to discuss about the we should lower the standard emission of carbon greenhouse gases. We should think about the don't cutting of the trees, like that, and then mention the type of cycle that an ecosystem, and how water circulate on the earth. Means this is some like of some critical question is there. That's why they are asking just water cycle. You have to explain every steps of hydrological cycle, like condensation, evaporation, precipitation, all steps that is involved in the water cycle. Then what are the scope and importance of environment? Scope of environment and importance of environment is like it is the importance, that is a duty, what benefit we are getting from the environment. You have to discuss everything. And then why there are only 4 to 5 tropic level in ecosystem. In any ecosystem, it will be divided into 3 to 4 tropic level, because it will be starts from the producer, and those organisms that are eating the producer is consumer, and then secondary consumer is there, then tertiary consumer, then decomposer is there. Only 4 to 5 should be there, because on the basis of their modes, or on the basis of their one organism has to eat another organism. That's why different type of tropic level is there, that it will be divided into 4 to 5 level only. So this was about the tropic level in an ecosystem, and this is all the question that is related with the environment and ecosystem. We have discussed the question bank that is related with this topic, environment and ecosystem. Thank you for today's lecture. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.